What's your favorite webcomic? Even though she's done with it, I've always loved Hark! A Vagrant by Kate Beaton. Jokes about history and literature. Very irreverent, always gets a laugh out of me. One that's still going strong is Nothing Special by Katie Cook on Webtoon. I think she describes it as a comic, but I still enjoy it even though I'm in my late 30s. Modern fantasy featuring a young woman who can see the spirits of dead plants and is constantly followed by the ghost of a radish. It gets weirder. Currently on season 3. And yes, I still read questionable content like everyone else. Edit: QC was already one of the top answers when I wrote this, just expanding the title since people keep asking. If you're not reading Pascal Lapas's Wild Life, you absolutely should be. It's about a writer named Oscar Wilde, no relation, who moves from Chicago to a small town called Potomac in Oklahoma where supernatural things abound. The artwork is stellar, the characters are great, and there's a creeping sense of unease that runs through it without being overpowering, which, given that it's ostensibly a horror comic, is wonderfully balanced. Definitely give it a look. Edit: while we're on the topic, and because this seems to be taking off, I also highly recommend pretty much anything by John Allison. Bobbins, Giant Days, Bad Machinery, Steeple. They're all great. I've been reading about the inhabitants of Tackleford since I was about 16 or so, and there's this wonderfully rich world that's been built up over literally decades of storytelling. If you want a quick and easy way to dive in, I'd recommend Bad Machinery, which is about two competing groups of young mystery solvers at a grammar school in Yorkshire. It's sort of like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew crossed with Scooby-Doo, except British and much more focused on the transition from your first day at big school to the cusp of young adulthood. It ran for 8 years, and the story of one of the young detectives is currently continuing in a print comic called Wicked Things, which is only 2 episodes in but is also a delight. That said, if you read one series you're likely to find crossovers with others, with characters popping up all over the place. The exception is Steeple, which ran for 5 print comic issues and is now a webcomic. That's the story of a young curate in the Church of England and an acolyte in the local branch of the Church of Satan who become friends in a mostly sleepy but also beset by sea monsters town on the south coast of England. The webcomic is great, but the print issues have a bit of a twist in them, and so I'd recommend finding a way to read those first before you jump in. Here's my little list I have saved. Tower of God, epic fantasy, 9/10, really brilliant world building, large cast of characters. Love Advice from the Great Duke of Hell, comedy, 10/10, hilarious deadpan faces, insane me_real material. Sweet Home, horror, 9/10, great art, brilliant concept. Bastard, thriller, 10/10, engaging and unexpected story, very dark. Poster Dude, comedy, 10,000 hilarious relatable humor, also some pretty nice art. Unordinary, superhero, 7/10, very interesting 4-dimensional story that seems to change depending on how you look at it. Hardcore Leveling Warrior, action, 7/10, interesting concept, insanely cool art and great character development. God of High School, action, 8/10, awesome fights and art. Lookism, drama, 6/10, interesting concept and characters. Everywhere and Nowhere, fantasy, 8/10, funny and also somehow informative time travel adventure. Winter Moon, comedy, 8/10, interesting characters and cool developments. Seed_, sci-fi, 10/10, awesome concept and drama. Third Shift Society, fantasy, 7/10, cool concept and nice art. I'm the Grim Reaper, thriller, 9/10, insane art and cool characters/comedy/concept. Ella Seed, comedy action, 10/10, hilarious, perfect for a cat lover. Days of Hana, romance thriller, 9/10, begins as a pretty cringy romance but it gets really dark. Also it will make you cry, this shit hits hard. Immortal Weakling, superhero, 8/10, cool concept, clever power scaling and cool. Aurora, a fantasy webcomic by Red of Overly Sarcastic Productions fame. Aurora is an epic with elements of high fantasy literature, shonen anime, and western cartoons. The story is still in early stages, but the characters are interesting, there's a ton of lore, and Red's art is excellent. It updates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Other webcomics I love that have already been mentioned elsewhere in the thread. XKCD, the quintessential stick figure comedy webcomic with tons of geek humor. Order of the Stick, a D&D parody fantasy comedy that manages to be both hilarious and incredibly rich in storytelling and character. JL8, A comedy reimagining of the Justice League as a group of 8-year-olds that somehow manages to be the most faithful adaptations of these characters I have ever seen. Poorly Drawn Lines, another comedy webcomic that leans heavily into abstract, surreal, and offbeat humor. Kill 6 Billion Demons, I've only just started this one, but it's super rich in world building and has fascinating characters. Fantasy action horror about a girl who gets sucked into hell. Steve Lichtman, a black comedy that stars a cast of deadbeat versions of classic D&D monsters. Irma, imagine if Calvin and Hobbes starred an 8-year-old Samara from The Ring. I read a lot of webcomics. This thread was made for me. Comics I like that others have already recommended: Always Human, Cursed Princess Club, Dumbing of Age, Girls with Slingshots, Gunner Krieg Court, Hark! A Vagrant, Mage, and Demon Queen, Muted, Bogolf, The Order of the Stick, Questionable Content, Scandinavia and the World, Wildlife, and of course XKCD. Comics I haven't seen mentioned yet. My Giant Nerd Boyfriend, https://m.webtoons.com/n/slice-of-life/mygiantnerdboyfriend/list. Title_no equals 958 and page equals 1 and webtoon platform redirect equals true. An autobiographical comedy about a tiny Malaysian girl and her very tall boyfriend, plus a doggo. Narbonic, http://narbonic.com/. Helen Narbon is a cutesy blonde who just happens to be clinically insane and a bona fide evil genius. Dave Davenport is a very normal IT graduate who's just become Helen's latest henchman. Also featuring ultra-violent interns and super intelligent gerbils. If you like this, try Skin Horse, http://skinhorse.com/comic/tip/war-white/ the sequel/spin-off. The Thrilling Adventures of Lovelace and Babbage, http://sydneypadua.com/tudegoggles/ What if Ada Lovelace and Charles Babbage had built a mechanical computer in the 1830s? Obviously they'd use it to fight crime and have adventures. Madcap steampunk Victoriana with gratuitous anachronisms. The Weave, https://www.weavecomic.com/comic/archive, The Fae Didn't Die, They Just Moved to New York. A supernatural murder mystery with lots of LGBT characters, and a possible poly relationship. I'm the Grim Reaper, Graveweaver, gripping storyline with a deep mystery of the main character's past, https://www.webtoons.com/n/supernatural/am the Grim Reaper/list. Title_no equals 1697. Anti-Stalker, Vocavora Muck, piqued my interest with its art style, stayed for the characters and the world building, https://www.webtoons.com/n/romance/anti-stalker/list. Title_no equals 2087. Not Even Bones, Stephen Lem/Rebecca Schaefer, based on a 3-book series. It's incredible to see the characters and scenes I've imagined in my head in full color. https://www.webtoons.com/n/thriller/not even bones/list. Title_no equals 1756. Exception, Colorby, colorful and stress-relieving, with lovable, and to be lovable, characters and buckets of diversity, https://www.webtoons.com/n/drama/exception/list. Title_no equals 1513. The Dummy's Dummy, Mo Kimura, also caught my attention with its artwork, and also stayed for the characters and future adventures, https://www.webtoons.com/n/challenge/the Dummy's Dummy/list. Title_no equals 103048. The list goes on, but I wanted to put these first. Edit 1 because I want to. Times Let's Play https://www.webtoons.com/n/romance/let's play/list. Title_no equals 1218. Times The Four of Us https://www.webtoons.com/n/drama/the four of them/list. Title_no equals 1524. Times City of Blank https://www.webtoons.com/n/sf/city of blank/list. Title_no equals 1895. Times Muted https://www.webtoons.com/n/supernatural/muted/list. Title_no equals 1566. times parallel city https://www.webtoons.com/n/sf/parallel city/list. Title _no equals 2053. Just started Tower of God myself. I started with the anime, was interested enough in the plot and the characters enough to see it through. By the penultimate episode, I was hooked, enough to check out the webcomic. For the curious, Tog follows the story of Bam, a young boy who enters the Tower of God, a mysterious tower in which every floor is its own world, in search of his friend Rachel, who climbs the tower to see the stars. It is rumored that anyone who can reach the top of the tower can attain whatever they desire. I'm a couple chapters into the Hell Train arc and I can definitely say that this web series is incredibly compelling. I get a lot of Hunter x Hunter vibes in the world building and flexible power system. I love the relationships that are formed between characters. I especially love how it's not just a standard shonen power of friendship, willpower will always prevail story, there is real loss, real trauma, real betrayal, and no guarantee of a happy ending. It is compelling, infuriating, satisfying, and quite the adventure. I hear that people have mixed opinions on the current state of the series, but I quite haven't gotten to that point. For where I've reached thus far, Season 2, EP 160-ish, it's still been a great story. I def recommend it. I didn't see anyone mention any of these yet. VG Cats, one-off video game and gamer culture-based humor. It started in 2003 and along with being hilarious is a cool timeline of the past 20-odd years of gaming history and gamer culture. The past several years it's been updated very sporadically, with month between posts usually. 470 pages. https://www.cats.com/comics/strip_id=0. Manly guys doing manly things, mostly one-off humor about machismo and the overly manly characters that fill games, movies, and comics. There's some story arc that's surprisingly good, and the humor is top-notch. On indefinite hiatus. 420 pages. https://thepunchlineismachismo.com/ Daisy Owl, another one-off humor comic with small arcs. Super clever and wholesome, hard not to crack a smile while reading. Went on indefinite hiatus a decade ago, got a single page 2 years ago. 200 pages. https://daisyOwl.com/comic/2008-0703. Sandra and Wu, mix of light-hearted humor and small story arcs. Follows the life of a 12-year-old girl, her pet-talking raccoon, her pyromaniac best friend, God, Satan, Steve Jobs, and whatever else you'd least expect in a Calvin and Hobbes-style comic. Still ongoing, 1,200 pages. http://www.sandranwu.com/2000/01/welcome to Sandra and Wu/ Gaia, fantasy adventure comic from the people behind Sandra and Wu. Still ongoing, 850 pages. http://www.sandranwu.com/gaia/2011/11/01/cover/. Misfile, a slice of life drama involving angels screwing with the lives of humans. It's rough around the edges but has clever writing, great humor, and enough spirit to get you really attached to the characters. To actually answer Op's question, this is probably my favorite one, not because it's got the best art or writing out there, but because I was introduced to it by a close friend and following the story through basically all of my formative years made it special to me. It's been completed and the author has started both a spin-off comic and an unrelated comic, but I haven't read either. 4,000 pages. http://www.misfile.com/misfile/2004-0222. Gosh, there was so much to love about Homestuck, the text adventure presentation, the ensemble cast, the story gradually spiraling out of control and growing greater and greater in scope, the vindication of building online friendships, the crazy lack of a regular update schedule that kept you ravenous for the next hit, the way the comic utilized the internet as a medium to tell a story in ways no one had ever seen before to the point of breaking its own website, Verska, the amazing flash animations and soundtracks, how involved the fandom would get in not only celebrating the work but in aiding and creating official content, the incessant callbacks and sudden relevance of offhand details that drove endless theories and speculations on the significance of even the most irrelevant quips, Dante Bosco being inexorably drawn into the fandom as if into a black hole, the simplistic designs that made it incredibly accessible for fan artists and cosplayers but left so much room for personal interpretation that some truly glorious headcanons could be realized by their art, the release of Cascade. I could go on. Homestuck was a huge part of my life while it was regularly updating, and I loved absolutely every page of it. It's a monolithic work that certainly requires a lot of time and dedication to fully experience, but quarantine's still going on, so now's probably a better time than any to get started. I'll leave you guys with 2 links if you're interested. This one leads to a trailer from way back when for the Homestuck Kickstarter, featuring the song Dance of Thorns and providing an effective visual representation of the comic without anything too spoilerific, lacking context. And this one leads to the page my friend showed me that first convinced me I should try reading the comic. Make sure you click the button to read the chat. To anyone convinced to give Homestuck a go, have fun. I read over 100. Cannot honestly pick a favorite because there are so many that I love. I read mostly on Webtoons, Tapas, and HiveWorksComics.com, but a few independents as well. I'll just name some that I haven't already seen on this post. How to Be a Werewolf, part of HiveWorks Comics. Modern fantasy set in Michigan centered around a girl who was bitten by a werewolf as a child, who gets sniffed by a fellow werewolf who's more knowledgeable on wolfiness than her and learns more about her wolfy side, and controlling herself better. The Beginning After the End, premium series on Tapas, link to comic. Currently the #1 bestseller on Tapas because it's just a very well done fantasy/reincarnation comic based on a novel. The medieval fantasy style world is well fleshed out, characters as well, magic system too. Never Satisfied, part of HiveWorks. Focused on Lucy, a non-binary person who joins a magical contest to become the city representative. Except she's not really magical. Wildlife. Part of HiveWorks, Oscar Wilde, but not the Oscar Wilde, moves to the middle of nowhere, Podunk, Oklahoma. Nopes when he then is greeted by his house's ghost. Continues to get into trouble with magical situations. Horror but also slice of life comic that scaredy cat me can still handle. Although to be fair, I do read a decent amount of thriller stuff. Namesake, HiveWorks comic. Namesakes of fairy tale heroes end up going through the event of the tales their name comes from. Long-time ongoing webcomic by the founders of HiveWorks. Countdown to Countdown. Valenxi's art is freaking amazing, and this fantasy/post-apocalyptic/sci-fi comic is gorgeously done. Sleepless Domain. Part of HiveWorks. Magical girls who fight monsters, but with depression, anxiety and real deaths. Perfect for anyone who's enjoyed Madoka Magica. One mommying or sudden killing at the startup of the comic and an artist change, but it is still gorgeous and flows well together anywho, so I frankly don't mind at all. Muted, Webtoons. Camille, a witch who lost her family and is now abused by her aunt, discovers things about herself she didn't previously know. Which could have, perhaps, caused the rest of her family to die. Spirit Fingers, Webtoons. A really lovely take on slice of life that focuses on a girl named Amy learning to love herself after finding friendship and a hobby after meeting some colorful group of strangers who doodle together. Croquis is used to be specific, but doodle is more common in English, so I swapped that word. Glaciers, Webtoons, Canvas. Fantasy comic based on a dude raised by a dragon who wants everyone to get along with dragons, and dreams to build his own city where they can live side by side. At 23, Webtoons, Canvas. The 23rd hour is when the demons and angels come out. But a certain demon, Velvet, joins an angelic organization instead, and becomes essentially a guardian angel to a sick human boy. Lauer, Webtoons, Canvas. Centers on the members of Asterisk, an international organization dealing with the supernatural and its members who are experiencing the color phenomenon. God, I hate writing for so long, but dang it, I love webcomics, and if I can let others learn about gorgeous comics, I will waste some time on this smile. Edit, added links. If you are new to Tapas and want to sign up, as well, you can gain 200 bonus currency, Inc., if you use an existing user's code. My code for that is RIN604V if anyone wants to use it.